everybody, and welcome to this webinar. And today we're going to talk about transitioning to high school. So I hope that you find this webinar beneficial, either if you are a student or if you are a parent. So let's go ahead and start I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Ellen Muniz, and I am a mother. I am a grandmother, and I teach at Enlighten Academy. I teach chemistry, physics, and also AP chemistry. Probably some of you can recognize my name because I do a lot of grading at the middle school level. I enjoy grading lab reports. So you probably, if you have a student in middle school, you probably have seen my name and my comments. I also want to thank you, Ms. Ferris, because she is helping us today with the technology portion of this webinar. So what are we doing today? So we're going to take a look at different strategies that I would like to share with you, but also I'm going to give you my experiences as mother and grandmother, as I have seen my own children and grandchildren go through the process of, middle school transitioning to high school. So let's go ahead and dive in and start talking about the different topics that we're going to talk today. One of the things that I'm very passionate about is our children. I truly believe that we are here, we have children, and our goal is to be able to instill, to guide our students in our Christian beliefs. And it can get overwhelming. Because like I used to tell my daughter, you don't come with a manual. So, sometimes, especially with the first child, is kind of trial and error. But I strongly believe that it is important to pray. And it is important to pray in a manner that the Lord will give us patience, will give us understanding, and will allow us to reflect and to see and be able to listen to our children. I think that is extremely, extremely important. It's reflection not only in terms of understanding, but also being able to listen and be able to understand where kids are coming from. So all the strategies, all the things that I'm talking about today, is just simply as a general in a general matter. There, of course, there are differences. Every one of the kids that we have, they have their own personality. They have their different needs, and by praying, you get an understanding, and it will allow you to see those differences to better serve our children. So let's go ahead and take a look at the cognitive level, which is really, really important to understand the way that our students behave. And I do have to say, middle schoolers, the way that I describe it is like, I don't know, or math. That's the way that many of them react. And we ask ourselves why are they reacting in that manner? Well, we need to understand that middle school students are going through tremendous physical changes. They're growing, their bodies are changing, and with those changes comes sometimes a lack of understanding of what is happening to their own body. However, they're growing into their own bodies, not only physically but also mentally. At the middle school level, students are very good about memorizing, and they like concrete, very specific ideas and concepts. They will buy into those kind of things. As they progress from 6th to 7th to 8th grade, that growth can be seen. What a student typically will do in 6th grade is completely different to the skills of an 8th grader, and that is showing the growth. But still, middle school students have a tendency to concentrate more on facts, and that's why they're very good about memorizing. I do have to say that one of the attributes that I really like about middle schoolers is that they're affectionate. They want to please, and there's a difference between the females and the males. Girls, they want to be able to please, and they're very sweet. The boys are still getting there. They're still a little bit apprehensive, but still you have that sense of empathy, of kindness, and that is shown when they send messages to the teacher. So that's very unique of all middle schoolers. On the other side, when we take a look at high schoolers, okay, let me go ahead. The way that I describe high schooler is they know everything. They're brain wise, and they know everything, and they have the right answers. They're beginning to think about, making prediction. They can expand on their explanation. They're more aware of their own beliefs and why they believe in such a way. And they start to that process of reasoning and being able to distinguish between an opinion and just simply, actual facts. You're going to see that all of a sudden they can start to comprehend and actually solve more complex problems. So that's very unique of them. So what do we do? How do we, what are the things that we can do to help with that transition? Because, the way that that school is organized, you have your middle schoolers and then you have your high schoolers. And how can we make that bridge? How can we make sure that as the student move from 8th grade to 9th grade, there is a bridge and an understanding to make sure that the high schooler is successful? So we need to take a look at this. We need to take a look at the expectations in high school, because that will allow you as a parent or as a student to understand that once you are at the high school level, things become a little bit different. Well, the first thing that I recommend is to understand that it is all a journey. It is all a journey. you are going to be faced with selecting courses. And the typical courses are your Bible, your English, a math course, a science course. And you begin to explore maybe a foreign language or electives. You also had the choices of selecting the level of courses. And if you want to go to, get the challenge of an honors course, or just simply take, there's the typical, level of high school course. And I do want to say and share with you one of my experiences with my oldest daughter, as you will gain an understanding of where I'm coming from. I believe that I was really, really hard, especially with my oldest daughter, because I wanted for her to go to an Ivy League school. So I was very involved. I was very involved, and also I was very demanding in terms of taking those very rigorous courses. And of course, she went to an Ivy League for one semester. And looking back, I can tell you that I was not listening to her. I was not listening to her throughout her high school career. Yes, she wanted to be challenged, but at the same time, she wanted to be a kid, okay? And she wanted to stay home, close to us. But as a parent, I wanted more. I wanted more. So my expectations and her expectations were not the same. They did not match, but I was not able to see that. And yes, she went to an Ivy League school. However, she lasted only one semester because she wanted to be home. She wanted to be home. And I have to say that I was not listening to her at that point. So it is important, again, for you to, reflect, to have conversations with your student to understand where they want to go. And it has to be a complete match between the parent and what the student would like to do in the future. One of the things that is really, really important in high school is that every single course that you take is a Carnegie course. So therefore is counting towards getting that high school diploma. So, which is important to keep that in mind when you are, selecting the courses. There's so many options available. I do have to say that Enlighten Academy provides so many opportunities and so many different courses that they're just simply available. But again, having those conversations with your child, with you, and also the guidance counselor. We have a very, very strong group of school counselors that are waiting to help you make those decisions, which is really, really important. And I'm very proud that we have such a strong group of people that want to help not only selecting the courses, but also guiding you through that journey of the high school. Expectations are different. And you want to make sure that your student progresses in such a way that he or she becomes a young adult. Okay, a young adult that takes responsibility, a young adult that can communicate. Communication is essential, not only as a student, but also as a parent. It is very, very refreshing for a teacher to receive an email from a parent introducing herself or himself and saying, hey, I want to partner with you and I want my child to be successful. So please let me know what I can do. That partnership is so unique, and it builds a strong bond between you, the teacher, and the whole Enlightened Academy community. So that is important too. Communication doesn't come easy for some students. They have a little bit of trouble. Some of them have a little bit of trouble communicating what they want. So one of the things that I recommend to my students and to parents is to model how to communicate with your teacher and how to communicate with other people. Because again, I think that that is important, not only for the relationship between the teacher and the student, but also it is an important skill nowadays. And I'm going to share something else with you. I always remember my son. He was in his junior or senior year, something like that, and we allowed him to drive to school, and it just happened that the school was at the top of a hill, and the parking lot was just very, very slanted. But anyway, and it just happened that one of the teachers did not put his brake, and his car just simply slid all the way down and completely scratched his car. So, of course, my son immediately called his dad, my husband, and my husband said, you need to call the police. You need to call 911 so they can come and check and to follow with the insurance and all that kind of stuff. And he kept telling him, I don't want to. So he kept telling him, I don't want to. So it was a conversation between my son and my husband, and then my husband calling me and telling me he doesn't want to do. I cannot believe that he doesn't want to do this. He has to do this. And I finally said, it's not that he doesn't want to do that. It's he doesn't know how to do it. So once he understood that there was, that misunderstanding, then he was able to help my son and went there and say, okay, I'm going to let you do it, and this is what you do. High school students, even middle school students are the same. We have to show them how to communicate. So again, so we can all have an understanding. Another important thing in high school is that each course is different. We try to standardize things as much as possible, especially in the online community. However, you will see that each one of the courses is different in terms of the material that is covered, how to go about submitting assignments. In instructions, there's some lessons where the students have to upload documents in Ignitia. There are other, lessons or projects where the students have to upload, their document using another, website, which many times can be very, very frustrating. But again, if there's that communication and that understanding, we can help with that. Another thing that is really, really important for the success of the students is they need to understand, it is important for them to understand that reading is essential, and to read through the lessons thoroughly, to read all the instructions, to read all the messages, so they can have a really strong idea of the expectations. And they need to understand that we're here, we're grading their work. And again, we are not perfect. We are not perfect. Sometimes we make mistakes. So again, receiving a message from the student that allow us to say, this is really a mistake. So how are we going to go about solving this? And so that is really, really important. And my advice is, do not let go. Do not let go. As a parent, you need to be vigilant of how well they're doing in the courses, how your child feels. That is really important. Now, the way that I like to ask questions is by saying, okay, I know that today in biology there was a lesson on genetics. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Because I'm always being interested in genetics. However, if you ask, what did you do today? They usually answer, I don't know, we did work. So being specific, asking questions is also a way to help. So, and that's a way of not letting go. So let's see what else today. Now, how do you foster social and emotional growth? Very, very, very important, because we want students to feel gratified. We want students to be able to feel confident. So listening is important. Again, modeling ways of communicating. Think about the areas of interest and be flexible about what they want to do. And I do have to say that join all the, as much as you can, of the social platform that Enlighten Academy offers, because that gives you an insight of what's going on. Enlighten Academy have so many clubs, not to mention the student masses. And Friday is the day to attend to the mass or participate in the club, and that helps to have connections and to understand that even if you are in an online setting, you can still have that human contact. So this is just some of my ideas and strategies to be able to make sure that our students transition well, and that they feel confident, and that they're successful. Any questions? Any questions?
So we have one question about how many social clubs are there?
Oh my goodness, I cannot tell you exactly the number, but I do. My goodness, I would say that they're definitely more than 25. I mean, I know that right now, for next year, they're implementing a crochet club. And I know that because that is something that I like to do. But they have chess club, and I believe Mr. Mead is the headmaster of the school. I believe he's still leading that, and which is really fun to participate. But I do have to say, one of the things that I suggest that you do, go to the Enlighten webpage, and because they have the complete list of all the clubs that are offered, and so you will have a better idea, and keep this in mind as you if you are in Enlighten, or if you're planning to enroll next year at Enlighten, that this is a community. This is a community of learners, and it's not only about the students, the parents, but we have a wonderful team of people that help you with registration. Any questions that you have, help you with the technology glitches that sometimes we have. So it is the counseling department. I mean, every single detail that you think about, we have people here at Enlighten to help you. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for participating. And again, if you have any questions, my name is Dr. Ellie Muniz, and I'm in the science department. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.